All right, this is my first video. I am a little nervous about doing this. Don't really know what to say, but I think that the info that I have and that I'm going to be collecting over the next few months is going to be something that is valuable, and that I think that a lot of people in my situation are going to be looking for. There's not a whole lot of it on YouTube, and so I have come up with the idea to kind of document, let you guys know, other people who are wanting to be in the event space business. This is stuff that I was wondering when I first started, and so as I go, definitely not an expert, but as I go, I'm gonna let you know what worked for me, what didn't work for me, and just things that I probably wish I would have known in the beginning. So maybe you can benefit from my experience. So first thing I want to say is that I have no experience in the event space business. I did a lot of decorating, and I know how to do the balloon thing. It's just always been a hobby. And then COVID hit, right? And then I was like, okay, well, my 9 to 5 was essential. So I was busy with that. But it's kind of just been something that's been in the back of my mind, to do this event thing. I just love decorating. I love throwing a party, organizing the vendors. For some people, it stresses them out. For me, I love it. I love throwing a party. Going to people's houses to decorate when the pressure's on and there's a time limit, not my style. Don't like that. But if I had my own space, I think that I could really bring something. So I started this journey in January 2023. When you start the journey, the first step is to actually say it out loud. So I told my partner, what I want to do. Very supportive, per usual. So first thing I did was start looking at spaces. So that's going to be the number one thing that you're going to want to do when you decide. You need to know how much these commercial spaces are. Is this something that's possible? Did you know it was that much? Now would be the time to be like, okay, let me rethink this. So you gotta see how much commercial spaces in your area are going for. In some cases, just like residential property, it'll be more expensive somewhere and be less expensive somewhere else. You might get more for the money that you're spending monthly somewhere in some certain city, and then not so much in another city. So you kind of have to narrow down to the space or the area where you think is like where you can afford. Obviously, you don't want to get something that's like super far away from where you live. I mean, who wants to? I mean, you're literally creating your commute. Don't make a crappy commute for yourself, but see what area is looking like the spot where it's around your budget. Okay, so that's like step number one, is actually look at I had never looked at commercial spaces before this. Never. I found myself all of a sudden everywhere I looked there was like leases, for rent, and I was like barely noticing it. Like, it's just like your eyes never really looked at those things, and now they will be constantly looking at those things. So I kind of got an idea of where the spaces were that were like in my budget, and kind of just like zeroed in on those certain cities. And then from there, you need to, have your name, have your logo, create your email, because that's going to be the email that you're going to be communicating with the real estate agents with. It needs to look professional. No one is going to take use. I use my personal email. The first time I sent a couple of emails, and I realized, like, oh my god, I'm emailing this man with like this email that I've had since I was like 23, like really something stupid. Like I realized, I'm like, oh my god, no wonder no one's responding to me. So yeah, make your logo, have that email looking professional. You want real estate agents to take you serious. So that's the first step, is creating your email, creating your logo, creating your name. Get your identity going, and then you can kind of, communicate and ask questions. So that's the first step. That's step number one. After that, you definitely want to start figuring out where you're gonna get the finances, because it's not enough just having a realtor take you serious to look at the space. If you like a space, you'll have to apply for the space, and in order to apply, you have to procure your finances. So your pay stubs, that's one. You're also gonna need finances as far as like your bank accounts, W-2s, and then they're going to see, okay, how much do you got in that bank account, girl? And if you don't have anything, I mean, I'm not saying like nothing, but if you don't have a substantial amount of money in your account, yeah, they're not going to approve you. No landlord wants to have that big of a risk. Someone kind of living paycheck to paycheck, thinking that they're going to put down deposit, put down the first month's rent, and just be like, success, like they want to know if it takes some time for you to get on your feet, do you have the finances to pay the first, the second, the third, at least until you make that name for yourself, you start getting bookings, things like that. So start thinking about your finances. If you have them, great. Skip step 2, that's fine. If you don't, like I didn't, I'm just a regular person. I mean, I live paycheck to paycheck. Like, I'm not ashamed of it. I work very hard. It's very hard in this economy to get anywhere if you're not making a certain amount of money. And I'm not ashamed to say, like, I was living paycheck to paycheck with my partner. We obviously don't live a horrible life, but I mean, we can't afford Disney passes. So there you go. I don't know. we're in that tier, living, but can't go to Disneyland. So, are we really living? Anyways, so, that would be, you want to get real with yourself as far as your finances goes. I did use my partner, and if you have the luxury of that, that's great. You can use your partner to co-sign with you, put their financials on the paperwork as well. That'll make you a stronger candidate. But you definitely want to see, will you even get a loan? Like, do you have the credit score or the personal credit score to get a loan? I'm sure there's someone who is way more knowledgeable on, small business lending and like applying for the grants and things like that. I don't know anything about that. It was just a lot, and I did look at some grants and applications and what I would be needing. It just seemed very time consuming for maybe not that much reward in it. I mean, it's really at the person's discretion if they're gonna grant you this money. And it seemed like there was a lot of websites that I didn't know if they were legit or not. Like, is this a real grant? Like, I didn't know. I just don't have the guidance. I don't have the knowledge. So I just went straight for the personal loan. My credit score is not that bad. So I was able to secure $10,000. So $10,000 in my bank account, my savings, I mean, it's something. It's not nothing. So at least I had that, and then just my regular income, my W-2s and things like that, and then of course my partner's stuff. So we had, I mean, I wouldn't say we were like a slam dunk, like, the realtors were chasing after us or anything, but it was enough to make us viable, right? So once you have that in place, your finances, where the money's coming from, you have the money in the bank account, you have things to show the realtor. The next step is for you to kind of decide what your needs are, what your deal breakers are, what you're looking for that you cannot compromise on. In the event space, that would be parking, ADA compliant bathroom, open floor plan, or like something that fits your concept. Those are all things that if they are not there, the bathroom, to make a small bathroom like ADA compliant is pretty expensive, especially on these older commercial. I've looked at tons of commercial buildings, guys, in my area. The older the building, the less likely there is going to be an ADA bathroom, and the more likely it's going to be on you to make that happen for the space. So if you have the money for it and you find a space you love, okay, like, just work with the landlord, work with the realtor. Maybe they can think of a plan if they're being nice. I met some nice landlords and some landlords that are like, look, it's not like, we're not going to do anything. Like, take it or leave it, you know? So the bathroom, the parking, okay? You can make an ADA bathroom. You cannot make parking. Like, if there's no parking, there's no parking. And I can tell you, your clients are gonna get there and they'll be like, where the heck are my guests supposed to park? You can't, have your crowd of like 30, 40 cars overshadowing the entire, 10 parking lot situation, and not have the other businesses upset, not have the residentials upset. It's just not going to work. Like, if the parking's not there, I would say, like, I'm sorry, like, that is not the space for you. You need to find something with just abundance of parking. Everything else you can create. You can make the ADA bathroom if you have the funds. You can make the floor plan what you want to do if you have the funds. If you're like me and you have your little itty bitty $10,000 loan, I needed to find a space that had everything. I mean, I could have probably done a little bit of restoration or renovations or but I really didn't want to. I didn't have the money for that. I did not have resources for that. So I really needed to find a space that had all these things. These were my my deal breakers. Like, they needed to be in place. So after that, after you understand what your deal breakers are, then we start applying for places that fit our needs, that fit the event space business. And you have to, from there, make sure that you're in the correct zone. You go home, you tell your partner, I found the space. I found it all. Everything. And you go to the city and you're like, this is what I want to do. Love this space. The city's like, no, it's not zoned for that. Like, no. And it's heartbreaking. It is heartbreaking. So from here, hi, this is where I'm at. So basically, I found a space, and it has everything that I need, but it is not in the correct zone. So now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we enter the dreaded event space, the dreaded conditional use permit. I'm going to get a shirt. If this all goes through, I'm going to get a shirt, and it's going to say, I survived the conditional use permit. There is a ton of stuff that needs to happen on this permit. I swear to God, it's $3,000. I love this space, you guys. This is why I'm doing it. And every step of the way, if you are in my shoes and you need one of these permits, we're going to walk through it together, and we are going to come up the other side, okay? The application alone is $3,000. The research I've done on it to complete the application. Now, again, this isn't the application fee. This is just to get the things that the application is asking for, is $1,000 plus. Like, this is going to be the most expensive piece of paper stapled together that I've ever seen in my entire life. This is going to make or break me. I love the space. And so a lot of funds now have been shifted to acquiring this permit. I've called upon my family and friends and Jesus Christ to come and help me pay for these things, because I don't want to spend the money that I have, my emergency funds, that $10,000. I mean, I want to have it there. I want to have it as a cushion, so I'm just doing whatever I can to kind of outsource any extra cash that I can from family and friends, my GoFundMe. Yeah, I mean, this is where I'm at. I contacted the city that I'm going to be doing the conditional permit. Now, I just want to say, before all this, obviously, I applied for the space and I got approval. I let the landlord know, hey, thank you for approving me. I just want you to know that I'm going to have to get these permits And it's gonna take a minute. I mean, this is from not from the date you start. This is the date from when you file, the application. It's 3 months. Like 3 months from there, you might get approval. It's not 3,000. You did all this work. Good job. Like, you did it, girl. This is the things you have to do to maybe get approval. Okay, so it's not even a guarantee. So if you are on this death train with me, understand that if you are in this situation, you need to tell your landlord, I need to get this permit. It could be yes, it could be no. It's definitely going to be 3 months. I need rent to be commenced at the time I receive this permit. And if I do not receive this permit, I need a way out of this lease. Obviously, landlords, realtors, I mean, I would hope, who knows, I would hope that they don't want to see someone ruin their family, their finances, and their lives. I would hope that if, there's a good rapport between you guys and you explain the situation, that they will give you a way out of the lease, okay? Do not sign the lease before you have this permit. That is just bonkers. Do not do that. Let them know the situation. If they're not cool with it, they're not cool with it. Like, then that's it. Like, game over. If they're willing to work with you, let them know it's going to be 3 months. It's going to be a maybe on the city's part. And, if it doesn't go through, you need a way to break the lease. So, like, for instance, my lease says that I have 3 months. They're giving in good faith that I'm going to do everything in my power to get this lease, which I am. Or, I'm sorry, get the permit, which I am. And if I don't get the permit, then they will allow me, that's my exit. They are going to allow me to just exit, okay? They're even really being so nice as to not even make me pay the full, like, first and deposit. They're only making me pay the deposit to hold the space for me, which is so nice. Like, I feel like everything is telling me, like, this is the right track for me, because everything is falling into a space where I feel like people are being nice. Like, it's just like good timing, good people. I feel like somebody's on my side, and I hope that if you are going this route and trying to see if you can obtain a conditional use permit, that you you feel good about it, you feel confident, and that your landlord and the realtor are working with you, because it is so much work. I'm gonna have to do a whole different video on, like, step one, but I just wanted to give this introductory video. If you guys are about to start a conditional use permit, I want to just in real time share with you my research, share with you what resources I'm going to, and just, my experience with the landlords. And again, if you're going to do this conditional use permit, make sure you tell your landlord how much time it's going to entail. You can put your deposit down like me, in good faith. You're going to lose your deposit if you don't get it, but at least you're not losing deposit and first month, okay? So, put that down in good faith. Let them know it's going to take a minute, and let them know you need a way out of your lease if you do not get it. And you'll be out the $3,000, of course, that you used for the application fee. You'll be out your deposit. I mean, it might take a minute for you to get back on your feet and get back out there, but I'm going to try to walk you through this with me. And I would just love your support and well wishes, and I wish you well too on your conditional permit use journey. But I think that we can do this, and if you have any resources you would like to share, if you're a real estate attorney, if you have any tips, if you're a real estate agent and you have any tips, or if you've done it before and you have any tips, hey, comment. I need help, okay? I need help. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just sharing you the things that I am doing, because I know that I will be successful. Will I make all the right steps? I have no idea. I don't know. But I know that I'm going to do it, and I know myself, and I am just a resourceful person. I'm smart. I know that I'm smart. I have confidence in myself. I know how to ask for help. So I'm just gonna, let you guys know the steps that I'm taking. First thing Monday, I'm going to be contacting the city, and I'm gonna let them know I was approved for this space. We talked already, because I talked to them already. They told me that I needed the conditional use permit, so I talked to them already. I'm gonna let them know that I am pursuing the conditional use permit, and to be, just on the lookout for, my application, and if they have any additional advice or anything additional that they need me to know, to let me know. But I'm just, first thing Monday, giving them a heads up. I'm about to do this. I'm giving you guys a heads up. I'm about to do this. So wish me luck. I'll see you in the next video.